Hello everyone. So just confirm me once that my voice is audible and the presentation is visible to you so that we can start the session. Just confirm me that my voice is audible and the presentation is visible to you. Okay. So we are going to start our discussion. So this is CS Sachin Jain from Jodhpur, and today we are going to start our discussion. Today we are going to discuss on a very important topic, that is GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay, so this session is especially designed for GST officers and GST staff. But if any professional like chartered accountant, cost accountant, or any other tax consultant is going to join this session, then this is definitely helpful for that also. Okay, because in this session we are not going to discuss that how we need to file GSTR 9 and 9C, what are the things in that GSTR 9 and 9C, what is the specific column in which we need to file that detail. But in our today's session we are going to discuss that how we need to check that GSTR 9 and 9C, what is the right way to check the GSTR 9 and 9C, what is the specific column in which what the things we need to mention and we need to check the things. That means this session is totally from GST audit and assessment point of view, that is authorities point of view. But if you are going to join this, then this is also a very useful tool for you, because आप लोगों को ये पता चल जाएगा कि what the things department is going to take care in their mind. Okay, sir. So with that, we are going to start the session. I am not going to take much time of you. In a very concise way, in a very simple way, I am going to start the session. Okay. So certain people facing certain technical issues. If if you want, then you may share this video link with others. Okay, you may share in your status, you may share with your professional friends, you may share with your GST officers and authorities and your professional. My voice is audible. I am getting the message that voice is not audible. I suppose voice is audible because system says that my voice is audible. So just confirm me once that voice is audible. Now the voice is audible. Okay. Okay. So if you want, you may share this video with others. You may share this video on your status so that maximum people can take benefit of this free live webinar. Okay. So In this session, we are going to cover the complete discussion on GSTR 9 and 9C in a practical way. Okay. Departmental authority needs to check what is the reconciliation which is mandatory at the time of checking the GSTR 9 and 9C, because uh, in the current situation, there are multiple scrutiny notices are there are multiple business audits are there are multiple litigations are there. So at the time of audit, at the time of investigation, at the time of litigation, departmental authority needs to check the GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay, because we can say that GSTR 9 and 9C is the final reconciliation provided by the taxpayer. So, tax authorities are deeming that there is no error in that GSTR 9 and 9C, or as a professional, when we are going to file that GSTR 9 and 9C, we need to be very much careful for that, that GSTR 9 and 9C should be in a perfect way. Okay. And also, one more request from my side, that please attend this session completely. Okay. Please attend the whole session. Don't wait for the recording. Don't go for the recording. You just be live. Okay, so that if you have any question, if you have any query regarding any point, then you are free to raise the query, raise the point in between the session. Don't wait for the end of the session. Okay, अगर आपको कोई भी specific point पे, if you are find any specific issue, in that case you are free to raise the question, raise the query in the chat box. Second, the mode of communication of this session will be Hindi and English both. Okay, we are going to cover the maximum content in English. Certain examples are in Hindi. Although, if you have any issue, if you have any doubt regarding the any language or any line, in that case, you may comment in the chat box. I may provide the simplified way of that language. I may provide certain examples for better understanding. Okay. So this is just my humble request to you. Attend the complete session. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, chat box is here. I will also share my WhatsApp number. Although we had created one WhatsApp group, and in that WhatsApp group, I am also there. So if you have any question, if you have any query in future also regarding the GST audit and assessment, you may connect with me. Okay. So with that, I am going to start the session. If you have any question, you are free to raise the same in the chat box. Chat box is open in front of you. Okay. So one more request to you, that if possible for you, then you may like this video. Okay. But like after completion of the session, so that आपको ये लगेगा हाँ हमने अटेंड किया, then after हमने like किया, अगर आपको पसंद आया तो if you like the content, then you should like that video. So first of all, I want to discuss certain important points from GSTR 9 and 9C, which is very much important while checking the data of GSTR 9 and 9C at the time of departmental audit. So, I had taken around 21 points for our discussion in our today's session. Okay, and we are going to discuss very deeply on all those points. So if possible for you, just take one pen and one notebook, and if you found anything important, anything that is useful for you, then you just need to take note of it, so that at the time of audit, at the time of your practical implication, you can use the same. Okay. So with that, the first point, download the copy of GSTR 9 and 9C. Whenever, this is a very basic point. I know very well that all the departmental authorities, all the GST officers are going to use this tool. Okay. When you are going to start the GST audit, then your first responsibility to know the nature of industry of that particular client. Okay. This is our first duty. Okay. After that, we need to download the GSTR 9 and 9C from the GSTN portal for reconciliation purposes. Okay. You need to demand the reconciliations from the taxpayer also, and you just need to compare the same from GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay. Also, one more important point is there, that GSTR 9 and 9C is not just from reconciliation point of view. There are lots of things available. Whenever I am going for the departmental audit or GST audit, I found that in many cases, department is just going to check the reconciliations in that GSTR 9 and 9C form. Sir, there are multiple issues are available in that GSTR 9 and 9C, and you can easily check the same, and you can find out a lot of revenue in that particular GSTR 9 and 9C. You can check the compliances, you can check the accounting, you can check the overall internal control of that entity from just checking that GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay. whenever we are going to discuss in detail by point. I just want to brief certain things that when we are going to check the reconciliation, we also need to check that the reversal is proper or not as per rule number 42 43 reversal, as per section 17 subsection 5, as per other reversals. What are the other reversals we are going to discuss in our today's session? Okay, so with that, the first point is that before starting that GSTR 9 and 9C, before starting the business audit, take a printout of the GSTR 9 and 9C for your reconciliation purposes, for your business understanding purposes. As a professional, as a chartered accountant, as a taxpayer, when we are doing the work of any client or any industry. In that case, this is our responsibility to correct all the mistakes in our GSTR 9 and 9C. मैं कह सकता हूं कि साल भर में हमने जो भी पाप किए हैं, आप सब उन पाप को GSTR 9 और 9C के थ्रू धो सकते हैं. All the mistakes which you had done, you can rectify the same in your GSTR 9 and 9C. Also, if you are ready, then you can rectify the same till September or 30th November month return. Okay, so that it will be very useful for you, so that you can adjust the input and output. So, as per section 16 subsection 9. So, I am also going to discuss this certain sections with that. Okay, with this session, we are going to discuss certain sections also for your reference, so that खाली हम लोग 9 and 9 से ही डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे हैं, उससे रिलेवेंट अगर कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शंस में हमको डिस्कस करना है, देन ऑल्सो वी आर गोइंग टू टेक दोस सेक्शंस. ओके, सो दैट इट विल बी मोर कन्वीनियंट फॉर यू. आपको लिंक हो जाएगा. और फिर भी अगर किसी पॉइंट में मैं अगर डायरेक्ट एक्सप्लेन कर लूं, और इफ यू थिंक दैट सर वी नीड टू रेफरेंस ऑफ द सेक्शन, then you may comment in the chat box. I will provide you the section also. I will explain you the section also. There is no issue with that. So, as per section 16 subsection 4, the maximum timeline to amend any GST return for a particular financial year, to amend any sales or to amend any input tax credit for a particular financial year, is your 30th November. और एनुअल रिटर्न फाइलिंग की जो डेट है, whichever is earlier will be the timeline. Suppose for financial year 2022-2023, the last date will be 30th November 2023, or the filing date of annual return, whichever is earlier, will be the last date to amend the GST record. And if someone is not going to amend the same, to rectify the same in the this period, in that case they may change the data, they may amend the data in GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay, so departmental authority has to check these things that this is perfectly done. कहीं कुछ नवंबर के बाद तो एडजस्टमेंट नहीं हुआ है, we need to check the same. So just I have take the reference of section 16 subsection 4. We are not going to give more emphasis on that. We are just going to come on our topic, our today's topic, that is GSTR 9 and 9C. First point, before starting the audit, take the printout of GSTR 9 and 9C. अभी तक केवल प्रिंट आउट लेना है, उसमें क्या करना है, वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस. ओके, सो डोंट टेक एनी टाइप ऑफ बॉदरेशन, जस्ट फील फ्री. आप एकदम फ्री होकर के, रिलैक्स होकर के बैठ जाओ. यू जस्ट नीड टू लिसन मी. आपको ये देखना है कि जो मूवी चल रही है, देयर इज वन मूवी इज रनिंग, and you just need to enjoy the same. Okay, reconcile the sales with GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B. Whenever you are going to open that GSTR-9 return, you found like this. I have taken one dummy copy of GSTR-9 and 9C also for your reference. So whenever you are going for the audit, you are going to start the audit, this is the dummy copy of GSTR-9 and 9C. Okay, so this is point for the sales, this is also 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 for the sales, and these all are also for the sales. Okay, so you need to reconcile the sales of GSTR 9 with the GSTR 1 and 3B. Suppose whenever you are going to adjust these things, in that case the total sale will be reconciled with the GSTR 1 and 3B. Okay. And one more important thing is that if the sales is not going to reconcile with GSTR 1 return, and if the same is reconciled with the GSTR 3B return, in that case you need to check that the sales is reconciled with books also or not. Okay. So कई बार मेरे को डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी इज गोइंग टू आस्क विथ मी दैट व्हाट टाइप ऑफ रिकंसिलिएशन इज रिक्वायर्ड व्हाइल डूइंग दैट जीएसटी ऑडिट. Okay, so if I am talking from reconcile point of view, reconciliation point of view, in that case, you need to reconcile GSTR-1, GSTR-3B, books, GSTR-9 and 9C. These four type of reconciliations are required at the time of audit, and as a departmental authority you need not to do this type of reconciliations. You just need to tell you taxpayer, tell the same to the taxpayer that sir we require this type of reconciliation and please ready the same. Okay, now again I am going to come on the main topic, GSTR-9. In that case, first we need to reconcile the sales. So in GSTR-9 return, there are certain sub bifurcations are there for that sales. Sales to registered person, sales to unregistered person, export sales भी है, zero rated sales भी है, there is supply to SEZ unit भी है, or there are certain debit note and credit notes are also there. So we need to reconcile, we need to adjust all those figures and we need to reconcile the same with GSTR-1 and 3. The tax is accordingly or not. And before reconciling that GSTR-1 and 3B, you just need to reconcile that GSTR-1 return with the books data. That the GSTR-9 return is reconciled with the books or not. अगर उसका reconciliation books के साथ में हो रहा है, in that case we can say that GSTR-9 is perfect. Now we need to compare that GSTR-1 and 3B with GSTR-9 return, and if there is any amendment, there is any adjustment, then we need to check the details of those amendments, those rectifications. This is our responsibility. So कई बार सिचुएशन ऐसी आती है जो रजिस्टर्ड और अनरजिस्टर्ड का बाइफर्केशन है. सपोज द रजिस्टर्ड सप्लाई इन GSTR-1 is 10 lakh rupees and unregistered supply is 5 lakh rupees. And whenever you are going to check the GSTR-9 return, at that time, suppose the unregistered supply is 3 lakh rupees and registered supply is 12 lakh rupees. In that case, taking the example, in your GSTR-3B or I can say GSTR-1, registered supply is 10 lakh, unregistered supply is 5 lakh. When you are going to check the GSTR-9, this is a practical example. This session is completely based on practical examples. So when you are going when you are going to check the GSTR-9 return, at that time registered sales is 12 lakh rupees and unregistered sales is 3 lakh. Okay, total turnover is same, but there is difference between registered sales and unregistered sales. So question by the departmental authorities that sir we need to reconcile the cumulative figure or we need to reconcile the individual figure, that is registered unregistered. So this is my humble submission to you. Whenever you are going to check these things, in that case you need to check that there is difference between registered sales as per GSTR-1 and GSTR-9. So first confirm that the sales which is reported in GSTR-9, that is registered sales 12 lakh and unregistered sales 3 lakh, is reconciled with the books. That means at that time जो बुक्स की सेल्स है उसमें भी रजिस्टर्ड सेल्स 12 lakh और अनरजिस्टर्ड सेल्स 3 lakh आ रही है या फिर नहीं आ रही. Or at the time when you are going to do the audit, you are going for the audit, at that time you need to check that the registered sales is 12 lakh and unregistered sales is 3 lakh. अगर बुक्स का डेटा GSTR-9 का डेटा रिकंसाइल हो रहा है, in that case you just need to demand from that taxpayer that sir आपने GSTR-1 के अंदर 10 lakh की सेल्स रिपोर्ट की रजिस्टर्ड and now in GSTR-9 you had reported 12 lakh sales, 2 lakh की सेल्स बढ़ी. You just need to provide us an Excel reconciliation. You just need to provide an Excel reconciliation that these type of invoices which we had added to registered from unregistered. Due to that, whatever will be your reason, suppose आपके पास में GSTN लेट आए या फिर उसने GSTN गलत दे दिए, whatever will be the situation, या फिर आपने ARN के बेसिस पे गुड सेल कर दिया, तो इसलिए this is the reason कि यहाँ पर ये reason है difference का. You just need to provide us an reconciliation, and whenever you are going to take that type of reconciliation, this is a part of your audit, this is a working paper of your audit, and उससे आपको कंफर्म भी हो जाएगा कि यहाँ पर कोई फेक इनवॉइसिंग नहीं हुई है, जो भी ट्रांजेक्शन हुए, जो भी चेंजेस हुए वो जेन्युइन है. ओके, जबकि होता क्या है, एज अ जीएसटी ऑथोरिटीज वी आर गोइंग टू चेक द कंप्लीट रिकंसिलेशन. ओके, वी आर नॉट गोइंग, अगर टोटल सेल्स मिल रही है इट्स ओके, but this is my humble submission to you. You should need to check the same. And as a taxpayer, as a professional, this is also important for me that I need to prepare the records accordingly. If there is any change in registered and unregistered, if there is any amendment in future, in that case I need to prepare the Excel sheet. Okay, as a chartered accountant I am not going to do the work, this work. I just need to guide my client. Okay, so basically, that is what is the things we need to check at the time of GST audit. Now, zero rated supply on payment of tax. If there is any export with payment of tax, in that case, we need to check the export sales. Okay, and we need to reconcile the same with IC Get portal. So, this is my, there is nothing rocket science, there is nothing very typical. If there is any figure, you just need to cross check that figure. Okay, and if you are going to cross check that figure, in that case you will found that each and everything is okay, then okay. Suppose there is a sales on account of export with payment of tax or without payment of tax. You just need to check that the same is reconciled with IC Gate portal or not. The shipping bill is valid or not. The port code which is mentioned in the shipping bill, the same will be available on that IC Gate portal. These are the things we need to check. Okay. So this is our task to check the things. If there is any supply to SEZ unit, SEZ developer, that is interstate supply, we can count, and that is that will be covered as your zero rated supply. In that case, we need to check that SEZ is going to use that particular supply for authorized operation or not. Now your question is that, sir, how we can verify that the SEZ unit is going to use that particular supply for authorized operation or not? So at that time, we just need to take the declaration which is already taken by that particular supplier from that SEZ unit. That SEZ unit is going to use that particular supply for authorized operations. ओके, सो हमको मिल गया कि यहाँ पर एसईजेड को सप्लाई किया है. इन दैट केस वी नीड टू डिमांड दैट पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट. कई बार आप लोगों को ये मिलेगा कि द टैक्स पेयर इज नॉट दैट सर्टिफिकेट फ्रॉम दैट एसईजेड यूनिट. इन दैट केस देयर इज अ डिमांड, देयर इज एन कंप्लायंस लैग. ओके, सो वी नीड टू चेक दिस सेम. If there is any deemed export, suppose, what do you mean by deemed export and what do you mean by that merchant export? I am going to explain the same. In that case, suppose I am a supplier of any particular goods and X is an exporter. मेरे पास में X आता है. X is saying to me that Sachin, I am going to export the particular product. In that case, you just need to sell that particular supply, that particular product to me on a concessional rate. Okay, and the concessional rate is 0.10%. Okay, in that case, if you got the case of Sachin, okay, जब भी आपको सचिन का केस मिल जाए तो थोड़ा इजीली उसको कर लेना है ना. तो when you get the case of Sachin, in that case you just need to identify that, sir, अगर मैंने कोई कंसेशनल रेट से जीएसटी का पेमेंट किया है, if I am going to make the payment of GST at a concessional rate, in that case you need to check that I have declaration from that export. Okay, that he is going to make the export of that particular product within 90 days. Within 90 days. Second, supplier has already taken the LUT from that export. So these documents are required. These documents are mandatory to contain with that particular supplier. So whenever you found there is any deemed export, there is any merchant export, EOU, advance authorization के against में अगर उसने कोई export किया है, कोई supply की है, in that case we need to check that authorization. We need to check these things. Okay. So for doing all these things, मुझे ऐसा लगता है आपको शायद कॉन्सेप्ट समझ आया होगा. For doing all these things, when we are going to check the GSTR-9 and 9C, we got that idea of what additional documents we required. I know very well you are going to demand the purchase register, sales register, the fixed assets register, the RCM register, job work register. All those things you are going to demand. There is no issue with that. But there are certain additional documents also required. And when आप जैसे ही अपनी पहली नजर उस GSTR-9 और 9C पे डालोगे, you got the idea that what additional documents required to me for doing that particular audit. इज दैट ओके? सर आपको समझ आ रहा है ना सारी की सारी चीजें? यू आर एंजॉयिंग द सेशन? वी हैड डन अप्रॉक्स 25 मिनट्स, so just comment in the chat box that you are enjoying the session. आपको चीजें समझ आ रही है? ना, टाइम टू टाइम आप क्या है मुझे कमेंट करके बता देना कि यू आर इन विद मी, ओके? आप इस सेशन में हो, आप मेरे साथ हो, आप सो नहीं रहे हो, आप एंजॉय कर रहे हो, सो just convey your message with me through the chat box. Now, sir, next we need to check the inward supply on which the reverse charge is paid by that particular taxpayer or not. So, with that point, you need to take the financial statement in your hand. And when you are going to check the financial statement, that is the profit and loss account of that particular taxpayer, in that case, in that profit and loss account, in the trading account, if you found anything on which RCM should be applicable as per section 9 subsection 3, okay, already there are list on which RCM is applicable, cashew nuts की सप्लाई है या फिर वहां पर जो है कोई सर्टिफिकेट है उसकी सप्लाई है या फिर रॉ कॉटन की सप्लाई है, सिल्क यार्न की सप्लाई है या फिर टोबैको लीव्स की सप्लाई है, in that case the RCM is applicable. ओके, सेकंड, इफ देयर इज सर्विसेज, डायरेक्टर सर्विसेज है, एडवर्टाइजमेंट सर्विसेज है, या फिर रॉयल्टी की सर्विसेज है, या फिर मूवी मेकिंग की सर्विसेज है, ऑथोराइज फोटोग्राफ की मतलब पिक्चर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग दैट इज द ऑथर्स होते हैं उसकी कोई सर्विसेज है, लीगल सर्विसेज है, एडवोकेसी सर्विसेज है, ऑल दीज सर्विसेज ऑन व्हिच आरसीएम इज एप्लीकेबल एज पर सेक्शन 9 सबसेक्शन 3. So we need to check the figures from the financial statement and reconcile the same with the figure which is mentioned in that GSTR-9 return. Okay, and if you are not going to do this thing, in that case, one more suggestion to you, whenever you are going to demand the documents from the taxpayer, in that case, you just need to demand one reconciliation from the taxpayer that, sir, please provide us the reconciliation regarding your RCM supply, which is reflected in your GSTR-9 return, same with your items of financial statement. Okay, and if they are going to provide the same, the reconciliation, in that case, you just need to check the things that RCM is okay or not. I can assure you that when you are going to start your audit and when you are going to do your audit as per GSTR 9 and 9C, in that case, this is 100% sure that you can cover each and everything. Okay, there is no requirement to check any other things if you are going to check the GSTR 9 and 9C. This is my assurance to you. Okay, sir. So, or as a professional, this is also our responsibility that when we are going to file the GSTR 9 and 9 return, or whenever we are going to do the income tax audit, we need to check these points from departmental point of view so that we can identify multiple things. हम उस गलती को वहीं पर ही रोक लेंगे और उसका सॉल्यूशन भी इजीली कर पाएंगे. दैट इज व्हाट इज द पॉइंट व्हिच आई वांट टू कन्वे विद यू. ओके, सो inward supply के लिए how we are going to check the things is that. Now sir, most important part, that is your debit and credit note. If the debit and credit note is related to sales, that means if there is any increase of sales, in that case debit note should be issued. If there is any decrease in sales, in that case credit note should be issued. Now जो सबसे बड़ा पंगा है, जो सबसे बड़ा पॉइंट है, the biggest point is that सर क्रेडिट नोट फाइनेंशियल कौन से हैं, क्रेडिट नोट ट्रेड कौन से? We need to identify that from that particular financial statement, that on particular item the credit note is issued by that particular taxpayer, the debit note is issued by the taxpayer. What is the reason of that particular debit note and credit note? We need to identify the same. So how we can do this and how we can reconcile the same from GSTR 9 and 9C return? So one thing is clear, whenever a chartered accountant or a professional is going to file the GSTR 9 and 9C, then this is my assurance to you that he and she will be file that GSTR 9 and 9C in best possible way. Okay. So he has already reconciled the debit and credit note figure from the books of accounts. So you just need to do one thing, that first you confirm that the debit and credit note as per the GSTR 9 return is reconciled with the GSTR, with the books of accounts. Okay. Now question arises, sir, how we need to identify the nature of that debit and credit note? just demand one Excel sheet from the taxpayer, from the professional of that entity, that sir just need to provide us the Excel sheet for which you had issued the debit and credit note along with the ledgers. Suppose the taxpayers issued the debit or credit note on account of discount, on account of rate difference, on account of variations, on account of commission. In that case, you just need to take the ledger of that particular items and just compare those Excel sheet with the ledgers and with the GSTR-9 return figures. Okay. Now, on account of discount, when you are going to check the discount and you are found that all those the taxpayer is issued credit note for all those discounts, in that case that means the taxpayer has reduced the output tax liability. In that case, one option is that you can demand the you can check the counterparty return, that the counterparty has reversed to that input tax credit or not, क्योंकि अगर उसने input tax credit reverse की होगी तभी यहाँ पर जो है सप्लायर को आउटपुट टैक्स के अंदर कम करने की परमिशन मिल पाएगी. Or one more important point is there, whenever as a professional we are going to reverse the input tax credit, at that time we should be very much careful that we should not show the cumulative or net figure in the GST figure. Okay, we first need to show the gross figure. That means suppose there is a reversal of input tax credit on account of discount. The total input tax credit ITC under CGST as CGST had is suppose 50,000 rupees, under 50,000 rupees. In that case, there is a discount reversal on account of discount is 5,000 rupees. Suppose 45,000 rupees is the net ITC. In that case, not show that 45,000 rupees in that GSTR-9 that GSTR-3 return. You should show that 50,000 in ITC tab and 5,000 in reversal tab, so that whenever any departmental authority is going to do the audit, in that case, if they want to check that the counterparty has reversed that amount or not, so that they can easily open the GSTR-3 of that particular person and check that reversal has been done or not. So this is my personal advice to you. This is my personal advice to all the tax authorities also, that they should suggest the same to the taxpayers. Okay. Now we are coming to the main point, that when you are going to check the ledger of discount, in that case you need to identify that the terms related to discount has already been decided at the time of supply or not, and if there is any huge figure is involved, in that case you just need to demand the agreement from the taxpayer, that sir आपने वो पहले डिसाइड किया तो यहाँ पर कोई एग्रीमेंट तो आपके पास में होगा, तो you just need to present that particular agreement regarding the discount, that sir we had already decided the terms. And if the discount is at the time of invoice itself, in that case, there is no issue. You just need to check the randomly the invoices that there is discount is mentioned in that invoice or not. You can also check the accounting data. Okay, you can take the system on AnyDex, or you can go when you are going for the physical verification, you can check the same from the accounting software. There is no issue with that. Okay, so that is what is the thing we need to identify regarding a rate difference. Whenever you are going to find anything ledger named rate difference, in that case you need to identify the nature of the industry, that rate difference is there. Rate difference is due to certain issues with quality, okay, in the particular goods. In that case, और रेट डिफरेंस ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ सर्टेन वेरिएशंस, जो कि 99% में एट द टाइम ऑफ इनवॉइस डिटरमाइन नहीं होते हैं. So for that purposes, the financial credit note or debit note should be issued. But in maximum cases, you found the trade credit note or debit note. That is, the GSTN credit note or debit note will be there. So in that case, you need to be very much careful for that particular type of discounts. For that particular type of discounts, you need to be very much careful that these type of discounts should be properly recorded. Okay, the rate difference should be properly recorded. Is that okay? Discount and rate difference very carefully. We just need to reconcile the same from the Excel sheet which is provided by the particular taxpayer, and we need to reconcile the same with the ledgers. Okay, discount ledger is there, rate difference ledger is there, and you need to check the one-to-one entries in this case. And if you found any huge amount, in that case you just need to demand for the agreement regarding the prior determination regarding that discount. Okay, and in case of rate difference, based on the industry, in maximum cases rate difference is not rate difference is decided post sale, not at the time of invoice. So we need to be very much careful for that, and accordingly we need to check that the debit note and credit note discount related and rate variation related is okay. So this is an important part, and we need to check the same. Now, two important points are there. Supply tax declared through amendment, supply tax reduced through amendment. One confusion is there, sir. What is the figure we need to put in this, and what is the figure we need to check at that time? So at that time, in this two column, as per the guideline of GSTR-9 and 9C, and as per the clarification, यहाँ पर वो amendments आएंगे जो amendments उन्होंने 16/4 की timeline में नहीं किए हैं. That means all those amendments they are going to rectify in GSTR-9 itself. Those amendments are going to reflect in this. Okay, sir, please take one example. So I am going to take the example. Suppose for financial year 2022, 2023, the total sales is 10 crore rupees as per GSTR 1 and 3B. Due to mistake, 50 लाख रुपए की सेल्स उनकी रिपोर्ट होने से रह गई. सो उन्होंने क्या किया? टैक्सपेयर्स रिपोर्टेड द 30 lakh rupees sales till 30th November. Now, at the time of filing the GSTR-9 return, जो भी GSTR-9 रिटर्न उस समय फाइल करा था, उसको ये आइडिया मिला, उसमें जब रिकंसिलिएशन बनाया, that particular person has prepared the reconciliation. At that time, that person got that यहाँ पर एक और मिस्टेक हो गई कि 20 लाख की सेल्स रिपोर्ट नहीं. And at the time of GSTR-9 and 9C, if they are going to add any sales, in that case, these 2 points are there in which the sales is to be reported. So, जब भी आप लोग GSTR-9 and 9C चेक कर रहे हैं, whenever you are going to start the audit, in that case, you need to check that all the amendments are done before the timeline which is prescribed in section 16(4). And if there is any amendment which is done after the timeline, in that case, the same is shown in these two tabs or not. We need to check. एंड जो भी यहाँ पर वो लोग रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे उसका इफेक्ट GSTR 1 और 3B में कुछ भी नहीं किया गया होगा, बिकॉज द टाइमलाइन ऑफ सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 4 हैज ऑलरेडी लैप्स्ड. सो उसका कोई भी इफेक्ट यहाँ पर नहीं गया होगा. So we need to check the same. If any figure is there, in that case, we need to check the same in GSTR 1 and 3B return of certain next periods, that is 3 to 4 months. हमको आगे जाकर के GSTR 1 और 3B के रिकंसिलिएशंस चेक कर लेने चाहिए कि कोई अमाउंट उन्होंने वहां पर पुट तो नहीं किया है, या फिर GST का कोई बेनिफिट तो नहीं ले लिया है, कहीं कोई इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट जो कम करनी थी वो वहां आगे जाकर के तो कम नहीं की है. We need to check the same, so that if there is any rectification is required, so that you can suggest the same at the time of business audit. So these are the very small points, and we are not going to take consideration of it. मैक्सिमम केसेस में ये अमेंडमेंट्स वाले कॉलम आपको खाली मिलेंगे, जबकि कई बार ऐसा होता है कि कुछ अमेंडमेंट्स आफ्टर द टाइमलाइन ऑफ सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 4 होते हैं. इन दैट केस वी नीड टू report the same in these two times, and as a departmental authority we need to check the things. Okay, so this is all the part of outward supply on account of taxable supply. Now, if there is any zero rated supply without payment of tax, that is export without payment of tax, in that case we need to show the same here. Okay, if there is any supply to SEZ unit without payment of tax, in that case we need to show the same. And whenever there is any figure on account of export without payment of tax, in that case we need to check the same from IC get portal, the shipping bill, the port code, all those things we need to check. And also we need to check the same is covered under the definition of export or not. कई बार हम लोग export देख लेते हैं, is that okay? In case of export there is mandatory condition. 15 days plus 3 months. That is after the expiry of 15 days from the 3 months from the date of issue of invoices, अगर वो एक्सपोर्ट नहीं हुआ है, in that case उसका बेनिफिट अगर आपने कोई लिया है तो उस बेनिफिट को आपको रिवर्स बैक करना पड़ेगा. That means I can say 3 months and 15 days का maximum timeline है in which I need to make the supply, and if the taxpayer is not going to make the supply, in that case reversal should be done. So we need to check in case of export that the supply is already done within the timeline. And for payment, there is maximum timeline 5 days, 15 days plus 1 year from the date of invoice, from the date of issue of invoice. Payment should be received in foreign currency. So we need to check the same that amount is received in foreign currency and amount has already been received within the timeline. So when we found any figure in GSTR-9 written, in that case we need to check that this procedure is also followed or not. और अगर उसने follow नहीं किया है, in that case reversal is there or not. So this is the point and we need to check it very carefully. If there is any exempted supply, nil-rated supply, non-GST supply, any credit note or debit note on account of that supply, and there is any amendment, in that case the same should be reflected here. So I'm not going to take more emphasis on it because it is a very simple part, but just nil non-GST supply is to be there. So this is the complete part of your output tax. Okay, registered supply, unregistered supply का क्या करना है, we had already discussed. Credit note, debit note का क्या करना है, we had discussed. Regarding export, what is the mandatory things we need to take care, we had done. Regarding RCM, we had also done. So just confirm me in the chat box. I am expecting reply from each and everyone that your output tax wala part is okay. One more request is from my side. There are multiple amendments, there are multiple lectures, there are multiple webinars will come on this YouTube channel. So this is my humble submission to you. Just subscribe this YouTube channel and press the bell icon and share with your professional friends. We are going to keep this YouTube channel as our official YouTube channel, as our professional YouTube channel. So please share this YouTube channel with maximum people, and you also need to subscribe this YouTube channel so that you can get all the updates very quickly and you can attend these types of webinars, these types of events online in online mode. Okay, so now this is the part of my advertisement. So sir, क्वेश्चन इज दैट एडवर्टाइजमेंट में जीएसटी के क्या प्रोविजंस है, आप चैट बॉक्स में रिप्लाई कर सकते हैं. नाउ सर, आउटपुट वाला पार्ट हो गया. Whatever will be the turnover which is come in that particular table, whatever is the tax amount, IGST, CGST, SGST, we need to check that the same tax amount is already paid by that particular taxpayer or not. This is our responsibility at the time of audit. So take these figures. Suppose there is a figure of 10 lakh rupees. There is a figure of 10 lakh rupees. There is a figure of 5 lakh rupees. Okay. 10 lakh rupees under CGST, 10 lakh rupees under SGST, 5 lakh rupees under IGST. If we are going to check the same, after all these adjustment, this is the tax value. This is the tax payable. Okay. Now, we need to check that the same figure is here. Payable, tax payable as per IGST, that is 5 lakh, 10 lakh and 10 lakh should be there. Okay, and whatever will be the amount, the cash payment, which should be shown here. Okay, and the payment through credit should be here. Whatever will be the adjustment, this is here. These two tabs are not editable at the time of filing of GSTR-9 and 9C. I am also going to share certain secret things regarding GSTR-9 and 9C in this session for the tax authorities, because they are also going to check the things. Okay, they are not going to file the things. तो कुछ चीजें मैं आपको बता देता हूँ कि ये चीजें हमारी यहाँ पर ब्लॉक होती है, ये चीजें स्पेसिफिकली वी आर गोइंग टू फीड दीज थिंग्स, सो it will be easy for the tax authorities. So the tax paid as per the law, as per the calculation, as per the perfect calculation which is reconciled from the books of accounts is that. So the same should be put here. ये वाला column जो है, this is editable, completely editable. Taxpayer can edit this. Okay, so we need to check the figure which is mentioned in tax payable, which should be reconciled with that. And this figure is coming from your GSTR-3 return. Okay, this figure is coming from the GSTR-3 return. In that case, suppose at the time of filing of my GSTR-3 return, I had reported the sales of 10 crore rupees and the tax payment is suppose 9 lakh rupees for CGST, 9 lakh rupees for SGST and 5 lakh rupees on IGST. Okay, in that case, adjustment through credit and adjustment through cash will be there regarding 9 lakh, 9 lakh and 5 lakh. But as per the current calculation, as per the reconciliation with the books of accounts, the tax payable is 5 lakh under IGST, 10 lakh under CGST, 10 lakh under SGST. In that case, you need to check the calculation that 1 lakh should be here and 1 lakh should be here, which is pending. Okay, and which needs to be paid through DRC 03. ओके अगर उन्होंने विद इन द गिवन टाइमलाइन दैट इज एज पर सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 4 की टाइमलाइन के अंदर उन्होंने अगर पेमेंट कर दिया है, इन दैट केस दिस डिफरेंस शुड बी हियर एंड वी आर गोइंग टू रिकंसाइल द सेम, एंड इफ दे हैड नॉट डन द पेमेंट टिल द टाइमलाइन ऑफ सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 4, इन दैट केस दे नीड टू pay the same at the time of filing GSTR-9 and 9C through DRC 03. We need to check the same that the DRC 03 has filed or not with that particular account. So, when you had concluded the reconciliation part of our para first, in that case, you need to reconcile the same with this tax payable. And if there is any difference, in that case, you need to check that the payment has already been done or the adjustment is done in under section 16 subsection 4, which is the timeline for done that particular adjustment. In that case, we are going to check the reconciliations. I am going to share the point that how we are going to check the reconciliations. Okay, so that is what is the mechanism for tax payable. Now, we are going to discuss on the part of input tax credit, ITC. So, in GSTR-9 and 9C, first we need to discuss that what is the source of input tax credit. Whenever we are going to talk, whenever we are going to discuss, we just need to identify the source also. So that when we are going to discuss on the source, in that case, we got the idea about the things that how things are coming in those forms. Okay. So I can say in regarding my input tax credit, input tax credit can be for input goods, can be for input services, can be for capital. Okay, or input can be on account of reverse charge mechanism. These two maximum these two types of input are there on input goods, services, or capital goods, or input can be on account of the reverse charge mechanism. Okay, so while filing GSTR-9 and 9C, we can show cumulative input of input and input service. There is no bifurcation required. If someone is going to provide the bifurcation, well and good. And if but there is no any mandatory requirement to provide the bifurcation of input goods and input services. But in case of capital goods, we need to provide the bifurcation. And whenever you are going to check the GSTR-9 form, in that case, if you found any input on account of capital goods, this is the point on account of capital goods. Whenever you are going to file any, whenever you are going to find out any input on account of input goods, capital goods, in that case, you need to check the same from the fixed assets. You just need to demand the fixed assets ledger. And when you are going to check the fixed assets ledger, you got the amount of input tax credit on account of CGST and SGST on account of that fixed assets, and you need to reconcile the same with the figure which is mentioned in the GSTR-9 form, so that it will be an approved for you that you had checked the same. Okay. And suppose there is no input tax credit which is mentioned in capital goods, but there is a purchase of fixed assets is shown as per the fixed assets ledger. In that case, there is certain error while filing the GSTR-9 and 9C return. So we need to check the same, we need to check the things. And if there is any error in filing, in that case, you also need to report the same in your. So input and input service का एक bifurcation हो सकता है. There is no requirement of bifurcation. Cumulative figure can be shown. But in case of capital goods, separate figure is required, and for segregating, you can check the things from the fixed assets ledger. हर एक figure को कैसे check करना है? I am going to give you that particular idea. But फिर भी human हूँ. अगर कोई point मुझसे रह जाए, in that case you can ask the same in the chat box that how we can check this particular thing. Okay. In case of reverse charge can be on account of input services, can be on account of input. Okay, we had done the list of section 9 subsection 3. Section 9 subsection 4 is not applicable currently, so we are not going to discuss on that. If the same is from registered person and if the same is from unregistered person, separate columns are there, we need to report the same. Okay, if reverse charge is on account of Tendu leaves, is on account of priority lending certificates, in account of raw cotton, in account of silk yarn, on account of second-hand goods sale by the central government, state government, in that case, the same should be part of your input goods. And if the counterpart is registered, in that case, shown in registered. And if the counterpart is unregistered, in that case, the same will be shown in your unregistered tab. And if the RCM is on account of input service, in that case, the same should be shown in service tab. So, whenever you are going to take the bifurcation at the time of our output tax discussion, हमने ये discuss किया था for this specific point. Regarding this, we are going to take the reconciliation from the financial statement. In that case, when you are going to demand that reconciliation, you just need to demand that reconciliation from goods and services wise bifurcation. And you just need to compare the same from the financial statement and from the relevant ledger, so that it will be a foolproof evidence for you that you have done the work in a very well way. Okay, so that is what is the point on account of RCM. Also, if there is any import of goods, if you are going to import anything from outside India, in that case, you need to pay the taxes under reverse charge mechanism, and you are also eligible to claim the input tax credit. In that case, you need to check the custom duty related various documents. जो custom के documents है, you need to check the same on account of that import. The valuation as per the custom rules we need to check. Okay, custom authority का already letter वहां पर होता है. You need to check the same that on the same value the person has paid the taxes under reverse charge and claim the input tax credit. We need to identify the same. जस्ट हमने बुक से कंपेयर कर लिया कि बुक्स में ये कस्टम की वैल्यू है. दिस इज नॉट सफिशिएंट. वी नीड टू चेक द ऑथराइज्ड डॉक्यूमेंट, एंड व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू चेक द ऑथराइज्ड डॉक्यूमेंट, वी नीड टू चेक सर्टेन बाइफरकेशंस. वी नीड टू चेक द टोटल वैल्यू एंड द टैक्स has already been paid on that or not. We need to check the same, and input tax credit is claimed and the right amount of input tax credit is claimed. We need to check the same. Next point. If any input is received from input service distributor, okay, you know the idea about input service distributor concept. जो लोग भी रेगुलर मेरे सेशंस अटेंड करते हैं, शायद उन लोगों को ये चीजें रट गई होगी, most probably, as I think. Okay, so in case of input service distributor, suppose my registered office in Rajasthan, and if I am going to buy any particular things, I have multiple branches, suppose in Maharashtra, in Kolkata, in Gujarat, and in UP. Okay, and if I am going to done the centralized buying, and then after I am going to transfer the products to various my locations, in that case I need to transfer that particular input tax credit also, and for that purposes I need to take the registration as an input service distributor. And if I am going to transfer that input tax credit, my branches are going to take the input tax credit, and if they are going to take the input tax credit on account of that input service distributor, in that case they need to show that particular input tax credit in this column. Okay, if there is any amount of ITC which is reclaimed by the पहले उसने reversal किया, then after if there is any claim, in that case the same should be shown here. If there is any input tax credit on account of transitional forms, in that case this should be reflected here. Whenever you are going for the business audit of financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, in that case there is chances that you got the point, you got these types of amount in this specified form. In that case, you just need to demand the calculation of the input tax credit which is claimed by that particular taxpayer in Excel. Okay, and compare the same with the stock inventory available in the books of accounts of that particular taxpayer, so that it will be a foolproof evidence for you. So that is what is the way from which you are going to check the Tran 1 and Tran 2 key credit. Okay. Now, most important part is there. You need to check the reversal. If a buyer is going to claim the input tax credit, and if the buyer is not going to make the payment to the supplier within 180 days, in that case buyer needs to reverse that input tax credit. In that case buyer needs to reverse the same under this tab. ओके, अगर उसने क्यूमुलेटिव करके इनपुट को डायरेक्ट कम करके नेट इनपुट जीएसटीआर 3 में शो करके वो कंसीडर्ड नहीं होगा. दे नीड टू शो द सेम इन दिस स्पेसिफाइड कॉलम. ओके, although this should be rectified in GSTR-9, this is the must thing they need to do. Okay, so for that you need to check the creditor's ledger. You need to demand the creditor's ledger, and you need to check the same, that for which creditor the payment, the delay in payment is more than 180 days. And if you found these entries, in that case you just need to prepare the Excel sheet, and from that Excel sheet you just need to calculate the figure of reversal and check the same, that the same has been done in GSTR-9 and 9C or not. And if there is no any reversal found, in that case you can raise the demand. And if you found any amount in this regarding reversal, in that case you need to check that the amount which is reflected in that tab is correct or not. Okay, from the calculations of the creditor's ledger. कई बार क्या होता है, they are going to put the creditors on account of goods, creditors on account of services, creditors on account of specific, okay, certain specific names are there. So whenever you are going to demand for the creditors ledger, in that case you need to take the printout from yourself. You just need to take the system on index, and you can go for the physical verification. At that time you just need to enter the things on the particular system that is on that particular accounting software regarding creditors, all the ledgers, all the heads on account of creditors you found, and you need to take the printout of each and every head, except the head on account of your Sarafi creditors or Sarafi creditors, because they are the financial creditors. So you need to check the same. Then rule number 39, that is related to input service distributor reversal. If someone has claimed the excess input tax credit on account of your input service distributor, in that case the same should be reversed under this head. Rule number 42, 43 is very much important in case of input and input service. Rule number 42 is applicable, and for capital goods rule number 43 is applicable. In that case we need to check that the calculation of reversal is perfect or not, and we also need to do this calculation on monthly basis. Then after we need to do the calculation on annual conclusive figure, and we need to check the same reversal amount is here in that GSTR-9 and 9C is available or not. And if you found any differences, in that case you can raise the demand, you can create the revenue leakages. Okay, so rule number 42, 43 is very much relevant. If you have any issue regarding that rule number 42, 43, then one video is available on this YouTube channel. You can go and check that video regarding rule number 42, 43, how we are going to check the same, what is the calculation aspect of that rule number 42, 43. And for professionals, for tax consultants, this is also a suggestion that we need to do this reversal exercise on monthly basis, and after that on annual basis we need to conclude, we need to recalculate the figures that the same is correct or not. So, and whenever you are going to check this rule number 42, 43, you found multiple errors. So this is my humble submission to you that we need to rectify the things. हमारा कोई objective harass करने का नहीं है. We are going to rectify the things, and for that rectification, you just need to calculate the correct figures and provide the same to the taxpayer so that the rectification can be done in that case. Okay. If there is any excess or wrongly claim of tran 1 or tran 2 input tax credit, in that case the reversal should be shown here. And if there is any other reversal, in that case you need to specify that reversal and you can show the reversal. And if you had not done any reversal which you need to done in that particular financial year, and you had not done that reversal till the timeline which is specified in section 16 subsection 4, in that case the person can do that reversal in this tab also. This is also available for this facility is also available. Then after, the most important thing is that reconciliation between the input tax credit which is reflected in GSTR-2A return and GSTR-3B return. Okay, and if there is any variation, you just need to demand that reconciliations from the taxpayer in Excel, and you just need to check the same that the input tax credit which is mentioned in the GSTR-3B same as per the GSTR-9 and same as per the books of accounts. Okay, and reconcile the same with the GSTR-2A return. And if there is any differences you found regarding financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, because at that time there was no facility available regarding the GSTR-2A return, in that case you may demand the physical invoices, you may take the CA certificate as per the circular issued by the CBIC. Okay, so you can do this task, but you need to take the reconciliation. You need to check that the input tax credit which is reflected in the GSTR-2A return is eligible input tax credit for that particular taxpayer or not. Suppose उसने कोई free samples के input tax credit लिए and free sample is also mentioned in the financial statement, in that case you need to check that the reversal is already been done by that particular taxpayer or not. This is the point we need to check the same. So there are multiple things when we are going to take the session on the analysis of financial statement, and in that particular session we are going to discuss multiple things regarding that. Okay, but this session is specifically related to GSTR-9 and 9C. So we are just going to discuss the points related to GSTR-9 and 9C, and I'm going to give a brief idea about those points, that how you can check the things. Okay, so now just a single second. If there is any input tax credit which is available in GSTR-2A in this financial year, but the same is claimed by that particular taxpayer in next financial year till the timeline which is mentioned in section 16 subsection 4. I suppose that section 16 subsection 4 is clear for all of you, because at the beginning of the session we had discussed that term, that is section 16 subsection 4. So if the input is related to that particular period and shown in GSTR-2A return but the claimed by the taxpayer in next financial year, in that case the same should be shown here. Okay, so we need to check the same. ITC available but not available, but not availed. Suppose there is certain input tax credit which is available to that particular person, but he has not claimed that particular input tax credit till the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. So in case of GSTR-9 and 9C, if there is any payable, in that case one can make the payment, but आप कोई भी रिवर्सल नहीं करवा सकते, कोई भी रिफंड क्लेम नहीं कर सकते हो अगर आपकी कोई इनपुट रह गई है. इन दैट केस यू कैन नॉट क्लेम द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, बट इफ देयर इज एनी पेबल, इन दैट केस यू कैन पे द सेम, बट क्लेम करने की फैसिलिटी यहाँ पर अवेलेबल नहीं है इन फॉर्म GSTR-9. सो इफ देयर इज एनी इनपुट अवेलेबल but you had not claimed, in that case the figure is here, and you need to check the same with reference to the GSTR-2A. Okay, if there is any ITC but ineligible, suppose the credit is blocked under section 17 subsection 5, hence the particular taxpayer has not claimed that input tax credit, in that case the same should be shown here. That is what is the point. IGST paid on import of goods, in that case the same should be here. If there is any tax has been paid on account of import, in that case the same should be shown here. Okay, so these are the points we need to take care of it. We need to reconcile the same And in case of input tax credit, the most important part is that your input service and capital goods. You are going to verify the capital goods from the fixed asset ledger. Input and input service का आप लोग cumulative figure दे सकते हो. In case of section 9 subsection 3 regarding RCM, you need to check the services and goods. Those services and goods RCM is to be applicable. Okay, section 9 subsection 3. Section 9 subsection 4 is still not applicable. In case of import of goods, RCM is applicable, so we need to check that the tax has already been paid and input tax credit has already been claimed by that particular person or not. So these are the things we need to check in case of input tax credit. So this part is already done. If the person has claimed any type of refund, in that case, you need to check that carefully that the refund is calculated in a correct way, in a right way. Okay, the refund amount is correct. All the documents, the necessary documents has already submitted by the particular taxpayer. Okay, and all the documents are in record. The refund has already been calculated with the specific formula. Okay, suppose there is a, in maximum cases there is two type of refund is available. One is your inverted duty structure, another is your export without payment. In that case, we need to check that refund has been calculated as per the formula prescribed for that particular refund. कहीं कोई गलत इनपुट का तो रिफंड नहीं ले लिया है, जो इनपुट एलिजिबल ही नहीं थी उसका रिफंड तो नहीं ले लिया. If there is any situation of refund, in that case at the time of business audit we need to check the same. Okay, we need to check the formula, we need to check the forms, we need to check the required documents, we need to check that input tax credit, that output tax, there is no variation between the GSTR-1 and 3B, and if there is any variation is available, in that case proper reconciliation is available for that. Okay, not more required, but the proper reconciliation is required in that case. So this is a specific thing on which we need to be very much conscious. Okay, so now input tax credit and output tax credit part is okay. This is my humble submission to you. If you have any point regarding that input tax credit and that output tax, then you just need to comment in the chat box, and if everything is okay, you just need to put the same in the chat box so that I can take the next point. One question is there. Yes, as you are from SGST authorities and there is a specific circular is available, internal circular is available that the credit should be checked by the CAGST authorities. In that case, you can take one certificate from, if there is any if there is already done that type of verification of that Tran 1 credit or Tran 2 credit. In that case, you just need to take the certificate from the taxpayer, and if there is no type of certification has been done or that type of verification has been done by the CGST authorities, in that case you can do one thing. You just need to check that particular calculation of Tran 1 and Tran 2, and if you found any issue in that case, you just need to report the same in your audit report, so that it will be a more convenient way, more favorable way for you, that you had done the work. Okay, you had done that work. Although this is a part of the CGST authority, there is no issue with that. But in case of business audit, you need to check each and everything. You need to check the complete part of that particular entity. So the Tran 1 and Tran 2 credit is also specific. So you just need to check the things. If you found that this is okay, then there is no issue. But if there is any serious issues there, in that case, you need to report the same in your report. Output tax, registered dealer. So in case of output tax from registered dealer, that means In case of output tax, that means if someone is going to make the supply to the registered person, in that case, the same should be shown in the particular tab. Okay. There is tab available in this tab. Okay. In case of registered supply, the same should be shown here. Okay. Now, you need to check that the registered sales which is reflected in that GSTR-9 is same as per the books of accounts. You need to take the annual GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B of that particular taxpayer from software generated. Okay. And you need to check the B2B sales from the GSTR-9. And if the both are matching, in that case, you need to check the same from the GSTR-1 return. And suppose if there is any difference, suppose पहले जब उसने GSTR-1 file किया, at that time the registered sales was 10 lakh rupees. But when you are going to check the GSTR-9 return, the registered sales is 12 lakh rupees. Due to that, at the time of filing GSTR-1, हो सकता है कोई GST number उसको नहीं मिले या फिर कोई GST number उसको गलत मिल गए हो. In that case, उसने पहले उसको अनरजिस्टर्ड में रिपोर्ट कर दिया. सो इन दैट केस यू जस्ट नीड टू टेक द इनवॉइसेस दैट सर these are the invoices for which you had after the filing the GSTR-1 return you had transferred the same to registered to B2B. Okay, you need to take a Excel for those invoices. Is that okay? So this is the part of output tax on account of registered. In the table 8A, this is completely related to the reconciliation between GSTR-1 and GSTR-2A and GSTR-3B. Suppose the input tax credit which is mentioned in the GSTR-3B is 10 lakh rupees and the input tax credit which is available in the, I am taking one example and with that example I am going to explain the same. It will be more convenient for you. आउटपुट टैक्स वाला पॉइंट ओके है. जस्ट कमेंट में इन द चैट बॉक्स दैट द आउटपुट टैक्स पॉइंट इज ओके फॉर यू. Suppose the books input tax credit which is claimed by me, I am taking it as 3B input tax credit which is claimed by me in my GSTR 3B return. In case of IGST 10 lakh rupees, in case of CGST 7 lakh rupees, in case of SGST 7 lakh rupees. When I am going to check the GSTR 2A return, the input which is reflected in 2A is 11 lakh rupees. In CGST 8 lakh rupees and in SGST 8 lakh rupees. Suppose there is situation, in this specific situation हो सकता है कि 50,000 rupees की input tax credit, जो 50,000 rupees की input tax credit है, which is related, suppose we said data is for financial year 21-22. I had claimed in next financial year, so the same is reflected in GSTR 2A, but 3B में मैंने उसको claim नहीं किया, मैंने उसको next month claim किया. Suppose 50,000 rupees, वो मुझे 8C में show करना है. Here 50,000 rupees, here 50,000 rupees. In that case, there is difference pending is 50,000, 50,000 and 50,000. उसमें से हो सकता है GSTR-2A में मेरी कुछ blocked credit show हो रही हो. There is certain blocked credit shown in that particular GSTR-2A. So I had not claimed them. So input eligible fee, but I had input available fee, but the same was ineligible because the same is blocked under 17.5. So suppose 30,000, 30,000, 30,000. In that case, the balance difference will be 20, 20, 20. And balance difference is due to that certain input is available in my GSTR-2A, but I had not claimed that particular input tax credit till the timeline which is mentioned in section 16 subsection 4, and the same is due to 20, 20, 20. In that case, the balance will be nil. That is what is type of reconciliation is required in case of input tax credit. You just need to demand the same from the taxpayer in Excel so that it will be more convenient for you. And when you are going to check the GSTR-3B input, you just need to reconcile the same with the books of accounts input tax credit so that it will be more convenient for you. Is that okay, Sivaji? Most probably you got my point. Still, if anyone have any doubt, then you are free to raise the same in the chat box. And if there is no issue, then I may take the next point. Okay, so next point, part 5. Suppose regarding financial year 21-22, if there is any amendments in the sales or if there is any amendment in the purchase, in that case the maximum timeline to amend the same as per section 16(4), and if someone is going to make those amendments as per the timeline in section 16 subsection 4, in that case the same should be shown in point number 10, 11, 12 and 13. 10 and 11 is related to the output supply, and 11, 12 and 13 is related to your input tax credit. That means सपोज अगर उसको आउटपुट टैक्स 10 लाख रुपीस पे करना था बट उसने 8 लाख ही पे किया, 2 लाख रुपीस उसने विद इन द टाइमलाइन ऑफ सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 4 पे कर दिया, इन दैट केस द सेम शुड बी हियर. And whenever you found any amount in these 4 tabs, in that case, you just need to check that the same is shown in GSTR-3B or GSTR-1 or not. You just need to demand the calculation copy and you just need to check the same from the GSTR-1 and 3B return. Because कहीं ऐसा कोई बोगस फिगर तो नहीं लिख दिया, यहाँ पर तो उन्होंने लिख दिया कि we had done that amendment, but when we are going to check the GSTR 3B and 1, there was no amendment found. In that case, we need to check that the same is available in that GSTR 3B or GSTR 1 return or not. We need to check the same if we found any figure. So, this is a specific point. If there is any amendment within the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, in that case, that is the way we need to check the same. Okay. Now, this is the table regarding the tax payable and paid. Suppose हमने यहाँ पर डिस्कस किया था the liability was 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 10 lakh and tax paid by 5 lakh, 9 lakh, 9 lakh, 1 lakh is due, and suppose उसने 1 lakh में से 80,000 rupees का पेमेंट till the timeline of section 16(4) में कर दिया within the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. In that case, we are going to show that 80,000 here that already done and 20,000 is still due. In that case, that 20,000 should be there. We need to check the same. That means we need to reconcile the figure from the audit report, that is the books of account sales, with GSTR 3B and 1 and all the amendments which is done and within the timeline of section 16(4, that is okay. Balance if there is any payable or if there is any payable or if there is any reversible, in that case we need to check that the same has already been done at the time of filing GSTR-9 or 9C. That is what is our task. Okay. Related to refund, this table is although not applicable, but for GSTR 9 and 9C, this is not applicable. But when you are go for the GSTR, when you are going for the business audit and you found that the particular entity has claimed the refund, in that case, this is your responsibility that you need to check the calculation of that particular refund, that the refund is calculated in a proper way, all the documents are maintained, the refund, the maximum eligible amount of refund is claimed. No excess amount of refund is claimed by that particular taxpayer. We need to identify these things. If there is any late fees is payable, this is okay. And also you need to check the HSN code wise summary of outward supply, that the outward supply HSN code summary should be reconciled with the total sales, that is B2B sales, B2CS sales. After adjusting the debit and credit note, after adjusting all the amendments, the supply should be reconciled with the HSN code wise outward supply, which is also a necessary part, mandatory part of GSTR-9. So, and you also need to check the HSN code digit, that if the turnover is below 5 crore rupees, in that case 4 digit is mandatory. If the turnover is above 5 crore rupees, in that case 6 digit HSN code is mandatory. So these things are very much relevant for us and we need to check the same. Okay, regarding the HSN code, and you need to check the HSN code from the nature of industry also. Suppose कोई industry कपड़े का काम करती है, textile business, and they are going to putting the HSN code of handicrafts. In that case, this is also an suspicious part. कई बार हम लोग केवल reconciliation बना करके audit को complete कर देते हैं. Not to do these things, you just need to check certain other parameters also, that the things are very well, the things are okay or not. Okay, so that is what is the point we need to check. So this is all about your GSTR-9. GSTR-9 is 9 is very much specific. If you are going to check the GSTR-9 in a complete way, in that case there is nothing in GSTR-9C. सीरियसली सेइंग देयर इज नथिंग इन जीएसटीआर 9C. हम लोगों ने जीएसटीआर 9 डिस्कस किया, उसमें अप्रॉक्स 1 hour and 30 minutes लगे. And now we are going to start our discussion on GSTR 9C, and in that discussion hardly it will take 15 minutes. So, अब समझ जाओ what is the importance of GSTR 9 and 9C, and I can say when you start your audit with GSTR 9 and 9C, you got the idea about the nature of industry, you got the idea about the reconciliation, you got the idea about the internal control of that particular industry, you got the idea about the relevance, you got the idea about the reconciliations of GSTR 2A and 3B. Okay, you got the idea about the calculation of reversal. So, this task will complete your audit in all aspects. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट आपको अदर चीजें नहीं करनी है, अदर चीजें आपको नहीं देखनी है while doing the audit, but this is 9 and 9C is also an important part for. Now, I am not going to take your more time. We are going to start the GSTR 9C. Okay, I know very well. डिनर का टाइम आप लोगों के भी हो रहा है, मेरा भी हो रहा है. ओके, सो वी नीड टू कंक्लूड द सेशन ऑन टाइम. इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन, you are free to raise the same in the chat box. There is no issue with that. Just connected with in the WhatsApp group, so that if there is any update, you can got that update very easily. Okay, now in case of GSTR 9C, GSTR 9C is nothing. It is a reconciliation statement. पहले ये लोग पहले ये वाला स्टेटमेंट सर्टिफाइड होता था बाय अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और पोस्ट मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटेंट. अभी ये नहीं होता है. ओके, अभी ये टैक्स पेयर खुद ही सर्टिफाई करता है, बना के भले उसको चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. ओके, सो GSTR 9C is just a reconciliation from the audit report. Whatever sales which is reported in the audit report should be reconciled with the sales in GSTR 9, so that it is a foolproof evidence that the sales is fulfilled. अभी हम लोग फेक इनवॉइसिंग की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, सेक्शन 73 74 की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, पेनल्टी सेक्शन 122 की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. वी आर जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट द थिंग्स आर ओके एंड द इंटरनल कंट्रोल इज ओके. फेक इनवॉइसिंग एक अदर पैरामीटर. ओके, सो in that case we need to check that the sales which is reflected in the audited financial statement it should be reconciled with the sales of GSTR 9. और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, अगर कोई ऐसी इंडस्ट्री है जिसके ब्रांच ऑफिस है, ब्रांच ऑफिस के जीएसटीएन अलग है, they are doing the stock transfer also, in that case you need to demand the consolidation also. ओके, बिकॉज उसके पेन बेस्ड ऑडिट का टर्नओवर कुछ और होगा, और उसका जीएसटीआर 9 तो आप इंडिविजुअल एंटिटी का फाइल करोगे, इंडिविजुअल जीएसटीएन वाइज फाइल करोगे. यू आर गोइंग टू फाइल द जीएसटीआर 9 जीएसटीएन वाइज, एंड the audited turnover will be as per pen. So if there is any stock transfer to particular branch, in that case you need to demand the consolidated statement that sir provide the consolidation of all the branches, so that we can easily reconcile the figure and demand the same in Excel sheet, so that it will be more convenient, more useful for you as well as for the taxpayer for the reconciliation purposes. Is that okay? There is certain financial credit note, debit note issue हो सकता है, other points. If there is any points, in that case the same will be reflected here. So I am not going to discuss that how to file GSTR 9 and 9C return. We are just going to discuss that reconciliation and the part of analysis and checking. So in that case, you need to reconcile the sales which is reflected in GSTR 9 is same as per GST audited financial statement. And if there is any difference, in that case, you found various reasons in these steps. You just need to identify that the reason is a valid reason or not. Okay. And reconciliation of taxable turnover. Suppose if there is any nil rated non-GST turnover, in that case, this will be applicable in case of if you are going to do the audit of petrol pump. In that case, you found the I have just taken the example so that you found the non-GST supply and non-supply turnover and all that. So from this, you found the reconciliation of taxable turnover, and you just need to compare that turnover from the above sheet that the both are same. Okay, we need to check the same. And if there is any difference, then reconciliation is there. In part 3, this is a very important parameter. You will found the rate-wise outward supply. And from this you will got an idea about the nature of industry, that sir ये industry जिस business में deal कर रही है उसमें मान लो 18% लगनी चाहिए, 5% का प्रोडक्ट ही नहीं है, and if there is an output tax at the rate of 5%, in that case, you just need to demand the item-wise ledger from that particular party. Sir, please provide us the item-wise ledger, and you need to check that 5% rate item is sale by supply by that particular party or not. This is an important point. कई बार क्या होता है, हम लोग ये सोचते हैं कि रेट वाइज रिकंसिलिएशन केवल इसलिए है कि इस रेट वाइज का रिकंसिलिएशन यहाँ पे GSTR-9 के टैक्स पेमेंट से हो जाए, ऑल दैट. But from GST audit point of view, whenever you are going for the GST audit, in that case, you need to check that this rate wise bifurcation is should be perfect, and you need to check the same from the books of accounts. Okay, from each and every accounting software there is summary generated, rate wise summary. Okay, and when you are going to check that rate wise summary, in that case you need to reconcile that rate wise summary generated from the accounting software with the GSTR-9C rate wise, and also check that rate is correct. Also, you need to generate one product wise summary, item wise summary कहते हैं जिसको. You need to generate that item wise summary from the accounting software, and you need to identify the rate on that particular item, that rate is correct or not. So that यहाँ पर दो चीजें हो गई. You had done the reconciliation. Also, you had checked the rates. Okay, so that all the things will be foolproof. इस GSTR-9C नहीं, आपने रेट्स चेक कर लिए, आइटम्स चेक कर लिए, आइटम पे जो रेट लगनी चाहिए वो लग रही है या फिर नहीं लग रही है, you had checked the same. And whenever you are going to check the items, in that case, you also got the idea about the composite supply and mixed supply. कहीं वो कुछ पैकेट्स बना करके तो नहीं बेच रहा है. In that case, the same should be considered as mixed supply or composite supply. We need to check the same. So this is at a point, and we need to identify this. Okay, in this session, I am just going to discuss with you these things in a very simplified way. Sir, आपको मजा आ रहा है ना? You are enjoying this session? Just comment me in the chat box that you are getting the point. मैं पूछना भूल गया था. GSTR-9 is okay for you completely. I am expecting reply from each and everyone. Now, and if there is any difference in between the amount of GSTR-9 and this reconciliation, in that case, we will found the reason here. Okay. Everything is okay for you. Just comment me in the chat box and confirm me. Now, next part. हम लोगों ने जब GSTR-9 डिस्कस कर रहे थे, when we are discussing on GSTR-9, at that time also there were two bifurcation. One is on account of output tax, another is on account of tax, and in this case also there is two type of bifurcation are available on account of GSTR-9C, also on account of your input tax and on account of your tax. Output tax already we had done, just sales reconcile with the audited financial statement, and rate wise to output tax hai, you need to reconcile the same, you need to take the item wise summary, you need to take the rate wise summary, prepare reconciliation Excel sheet, and if there is any composite supply and mixed supply concept, in that case you need to check the things. Okay, now input tax credit, which is also a very much important part. In that case, you need to check the input tax credit as per the books of accounts. Okay, you need to take the printout of the input tax ledger, IGST, CGST, SGST. Okay, and from that ledger, you need to take the input tax credit and check the same from here. The input tax credit is perfect or not. And also, you should do one thing, that whatever ledger you are going to generate from the accounting software, compare the same with the consolidated GSTR-3B, which is also generated from the accounting software, so that you can check the internal control and efficiency of that accounting software also. क्योंकि पहले बुक्स के अंदर फिजिकली डॉक्यूमेंट्स मेंटेन होते थे, सारी की सारी जो है सिस्टम में मेंटेन होती है. So as a departmental audit, as an authority, this is also your responsibility that you should check the efficiency, the authenticity of that accounting software of that particular system. The data which is generated from the ledger should be same as per the GSTR-3B, which is also generated from the accounting software. And you need to check the sales from the input tax credit from here. And if ITC booked in the earlier financial year and claimed in current financial year, suppose you are going to the audit of financial year 21-22, and if there is an input related to 2021 which is claimed in 21-22, in that case the same should be shown here. By that particular taxpayer, you need to check the same. And you need to demand the particular GSTR-3B and GSTR-1 return calculation. That sir, आपने बोला कि पिछले महीने की इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट हमने अभी क्लेम की है. So provide us the calculation for that and provide us the copy of GSTR-3B of that respective month कि इस month के अंदर हमने इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट क्लेम की है. We had claimed the input tax credit in this specific month. And for that particular financial year, that is you are going to audit for financial year 21-22, and there is certain input tax credit which is related to financial year 21-22, but the same has been claimed by the particular taxpayer during financial year 22-23 within the timeline which is specified in section 16 subsection 4. In that case, the same is reflected here. Okay. And for that purposes, you just need to demand that sir provide us the particular GSTR-3B return in which you had claimed that input tax credit and calculation thereof so that we can verify the same. And after that adjustment, we will get the input and reconcile the same with the input tax credit which is reflected in GSTR-9 return. That is, whatever input tax credit you had claimed in the GSTR-3B return will be reflected in your GSTR-9. And if there is any difference is found, in that case, the reason will be here. Okay. Now, next step is item-wise reconciliation of ITC. Although this is not mandatory, but whenever you are going for the departmental audit, this is not mandatory for GSTR-9 and 9C, but this should be maintained by the taxpayer in their accounting software. And whenever you are going to do the business audit or at the time of scrutiny, you just need to demand the item-wise summary from the taxpayer. And whenever you are going to check the item-wise, if possible, bifurcate the same in following heads. Not for the GSTR-9C purposes, you just need to bifurcate in these heads so that you got the idea, complete idea about that particular industry. Also, from doing this exercise, you can identify the mixed supply, the composite supply, the rate of tax also. In case of input tax credit, जो भी उसने इनपुट टैक्स रेट क्लेम की वो कहाँ फॉल हो रही है, कहीं उस पे आरसीएम लगना चाहिए. इन दैट केस सपोज व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू चेक द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ फ्राइड, in that case you need to check that the input tax credit is reconciled with that input tax credit which is reflected in the GSTR-9 return on account of freight reverse charge. Okay, if there is any input tax credit on account of import, in that case you need to reconcile the same from custom documents. ये सारी एक्सेस करने में हार्डली 1 से 1.5 दिन का टाइम लगेगा. इट विल टेक हार्डली 1.5 day if you are going to do all this task. And for demanding the documents, अगर आपने कोई एक एंटिटी के टैक्स ऑडिट के दिमाग में डिमांड टाइम पे ये वाले डॉक्यूमेंट्स मंगवा लिए, in that case you can prepare one master requirement list. You just need to provide the same to the taxpayer in one shot, so that it is very convenient. It will be very convenient for the taxpayer as well as for you. And as per the nature of industry, if you want certain modifications, in that case you may done that modification also. Okay, so this is about the item wise bifurcation. Now, if there is any additional demand which is generated in GSTR-9C, in that case the same is shown here and the amount has to be paid through cash through DRC 03. Suppose कोई interest है, trade interest है, and the taxpayer is going to make the payment of taxes after filing the GSTR-9 return. In that case the same should be shown here. In that case your interest will be applicable, late fees will be applicable, whatever will be the applicable charges that will be applicable. Okay, you need to check the same. And also this is from the GSTR-9C point of view. Also there are thousands of points on which you can generate the revenue leakages. You can identify the revenue leakages. You need to do the same from your business audit point of view. Whenever you are going to check the financial statement, you need to check that the particular terms on which GST is to be applicable, the GST is to be applicable from this rate. The input tax rate has been disallowed. The input tax rate has to be calculated on the proportionate basis on the basis of rule number 4243. In case of plant and machinery, reversal is to be there. In case of there is any sale of the plant and machinery, sale of the car, we need to check the same. So these are certain points from which you can identify the revenue leakages. Okay. Now there is certain attachments are there regarding balance sheet, profit and loss account, and 3CD report, so that you can easily identify the things. Okay, you can easily identify the things. You can identify the sales from you can reconcile the sales from GSTR 9 and 9C. So this is all about GSTR 9 and 9C. So after this session, I suppose that you got that idea that GSTR 9 and 9C is not just about the reconciliations. The GSTR 9 and 9C is more than that reconciliations. You can identify lots of things from analysis of GSTR 9 and 9C. From this session, I just tried to give you certain clue regarding that GSTR 9 and 9C, that how you are going to check these points at the time of checking of GSTR 9 and 9C. I hope that this session is useful for you, useful in the course of your audit. Okay. Now initial हम लोगों ने एक इंडेक्स बनाई थी कि we are going to discuss on these points. So just we are going to check कि हम लोगों ने वो सारे के सारे पॉइंट डिस्कस कर लिए हैं या फिर नहीं कर लिए हैं, और if there is any point pending then we are going to take the same, और हमारा रिकंसिलिएशन भी हो जाएगा यहाँ पर. Carefully check registered and unregistered sales. We had already done that. Registered and unregistered का difference. Reconcile the same with tax paid and payable. We had discussed that payable tax payable wala. Okay. 10 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh. Okay. 5 lakh in IGST, 9 lakh, 1 lakh ka difference. Reconcile the RCM related amount with the financial check input tax credit as well. In case of export related sales, we need to check the LUT and IC get registration. Okay. Special care for debit and credit note discount rate difference and all that. Okay, we had already discussed all that. Check the details regarding the amendments. Also, we had done our discussion on the recent amendments, that is all the amendments which is done at the time of filing GSTR 9 and 9C. Clear bifurcation of input tax credit, that is capital goods and input. The reversal of rule number 42 and 43. Rule number 42 will be applicable in case of input and input service, and 43 will be applicable in case of capital goods. We need to check the same. Carefully check the section 17 subsection 5 if there is any input tax credit. This is also my humble submission to you. Just take the purchase register in Excel and you need to check the name of the parties. ओके कहीं कोई ऐसी पार्टी लगे आपको कि द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ऑफ दिस पार्टी इज ब्लॉक्ड अंडर सेक्शन 17 सबसेक्शन 5, in that case you need to check the same that the reversed by that particular taxpayer or not. Okay, so that you got that particular idea. And this is also my humble submission to you that each and every time not go for the printout, you just need to take the Excel sheet, and if you are going to do your working in that particular Excel sheet, then it will be more convenient for you. Okay, so other reversals regarding purchase return, we had already discussed that in case of other reversals, suppose there is any purchase return, in that case we need to check that the counterparty has not shown the net figure in that all other ITC. Purchase return should be shown in other reversal tab, so that at the time of audit the entity can easily check the GSTR-3B return of the counterparty regarding that. Okay, as a professional, this is also our responsibility to file the return in a perfect way. Reconciliation between GSTR-3B and GSTR-2A we had already done. Special care for the calculation of refund as per the formula prescribed under section 54-55. Okay, related to limited duty structure and the export related refund without payment of tax. We need to check the same. We need to check the formula. Then your HSN code wise summary, we need to check that the HSN code wise summary is perfect. HSN code is perfect. कई बार क्या होता है हम लोग केवल रिकंसिलिएशन देख लेते हैं कि HSN कोड की सेल्स की टोटल इतनी आ रही है और 9 की टोटल इतनी आ रही है, that means okay. This is my humble submission to you. Just check that the HSN code which is put in that particular GSTR-9 return is correct or not. ओके कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है बिजनेस को किसी एक्स प्रोडक्ट कर रहा है, एचएसएन कोड वाई प्रोडक्ट के डाल रहा है. वी नीड टू चेक द सेम, वी नीड टू वेरीफाई द सेम, वी नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई द थिंग्स. ओके, tax paid and payable की calculation we had already done. Reconciliation of sales with the financial statement we had already done. Tax rate wise summary, मैंने आपको ये भी बताया कि what is the relevance of that tax rate wise reconciliation. Okay, you can identify multiple things from that tax rate wise reconciliation. Reconciliation of input tax credit with the books of accounts, मैंने आपको ये भी आइडिया दे दिया कि how you are going to check the books input tax credit. You just need to take the ledgers of IGST, CGST, SGST and also generate the consolidated GSTR-3B of that particular period from the accounting software and reconcile the same, and after that reconciliation you just need to compare the same with the GSTR-3B return with the GSTR-2A return. केयरफुली चेक द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट हमने discuss कर दिया. When you are going to check the financial statement, you need to check multiple things. One important thing is there. You just need to reconcile that the input tax credit balance which is shown in the electronic credit ledger of that particular entity at the end of that relevant period should be reconciled with the input tax credit which is reflected in the accounting software, that is books of accounts of that particular entity. And if there is any differences, in that case, you just need to demand the reconciliations for that differences. That sir, there is a differences between the closing balance of your input tax credit on portal and closing balance in your books of accounts. Just comment us, just tell us the difference, the reason of that difference, and try to check the item wise summary. When you are going to check the item wise summary in case of input and output, you got the idea regarding the tax rate, the product which in which the particular entity is going to deal. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि जिस प्रोडक्ट में वो डील कर रहा है the same is not reflected in the registration. Okay, because जो रजिस्ट्रेशन के अंदर HSN और SSC की डिटेल्स दे रखी है उससे रिलेटेड ही वो बिजनेस कर रहा है. ऐसा नहीं होगा HSN और SSC कुछ और पीरियड हो बिजनेस किसी और चीज का कर रहा है. So we need to check this thing. With this, we are going to do multiple things at the time of business audit, at the time of departmental audit. We are going to physically verify certain invoices of purchases and sales. We are going to check the reconciliations. We are going to check the books of accounts. In case of input tax credit, we are going to check the physical invoices. We are going to check the rules as per section 16 subsection 2 that the goods has already been received. Invoices are there with that particular taxpayer. The same is reflected in GSTR to be written. For financial years 17, 18, 18 and 19, there is a specific circular issued by the department. In that case, you may take the CS certificate if the invoices are not reflected in the GSTR to be written, because at that time the form GSTR-2A was not available. So, in our today's session, conclusively we can say that we had started our discussion with the output tax. Okay, registered, unregistered, we had discussed on the credit and debit note. We had done our discussion on account of reverse charge, how we are going to check, how we are going to check the export related data. Okay, how we are going to check the input services, capital goods, we are going to check from the fixed assets register. Okay, and after that, we had done our discussion on the differences between the reconciliation between the GSTR-2A and GSTR-3B input tax credit refund related. हमको क्या check करना है? All the amendments which is done under the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. How we are going to check? Okay, and we are going to take the GSTR-3B of that particular period, GSTR-1 of that particular period, in which they had done that amendments. Okay, if certain amendments are done during the filing of the GSTR-9 and 9C return. In that case, the same has been shown, and that GSTR-9 return we had also discussed on that HSN code-wise summary. After that, we had started our discussion on GSTR-9C form. We had done the discussion on the reconciliation between the annual financial statement and the sales as per GSTR-9. Also, we had done our discussion on the rate-wise output supply. Okay, we can identify from that the rate is correct or not. Okay, the mixed supply or composite supply वाला concept हम लोगों ने discuss किया. Then after we had started our discussion on the input tax credit, reconciliation between the input tax credit which is reflected in the books of accounts and the GSTR-3B. We had also done the discussion on that, and after that we had discussed about the item wise summary regarding the purchase. Okay, and at the end, if there is any revenue linkage is there, and if there is any item on which the tax has not been paid by the taxpayer till the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, in that case the same can be paid in GSTR-9, and if the tax is not paid in GSTR-9, in that case 9C के अंदर पे करके उस specific table में show करना है. If there is any revenue leakages, in that case we are going to show the same at the time of our business audit. That is what is the complete discussion of our GSTR-9 and 9C. Is that okay, sir? If you have any doubt, if you have any question, if you have any query, you can put the same in the chat box. Chat box is open for your queries, and if you have no query, then I am going to sign off for our today's session. Okay, and we had created one WhatsApp group. Okay, I will also share the recording of this session in the WhatsApp group itself, so that जिन लोगों ने session attend नहीं किया है, they can also watch this video. Okay, and if you want that this video is useful, then you can share this video with your colleagues, your friends, your professional friends, and all that. Okay, and I'm also expecting your valuable feedbacks in the WhatsApp group so that I can improve myself. Also, this is a biggest award for me. This is a biggest reward from your side to me that if you are going to provide your feedback. So, sir, I suppose there is no query pending. And in future, if you have any question, if you have any doubt, if you have any point during your GST audit, at the time of your during audit or for professionals, in that case, you may easily connect with me over WhatsApp. You just need to text me. I will give you a time, okay? And at that time, you can connect with me over call. There is no issue with that. So, yes, I will share the complete PDF file with you in the WhatsApp group. There is no issue with that. I will share this file in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So I suppose there is no question is pending. So I'm going to sign off with this session. मिलते हैं और किसी वेबिनार में और किसी सेशन में. Thank you for your patience learning. Bye bye. Take care.